Hi there, my name's Nemo Ashong and welcome to Enjoyment. I'm sitting here in Singapore in one of my favorite places in the entire country, and I felt this was a great place to come and connect with you. And I decided to make a video because that's where my strengths lie. I enjoy talking, I enjoy conversations, and it's just quite frankly just a lot easier for me to convey my thoughts to you and my emotions to you through video than any other means. So welcome here. And thank you for just taking a little bit of time to get to know me, Enjoyment, and the possibilities that we can create for you in your life together. I guess the best place to start this here is really just a little bit of my journey. So I like to think my Enjoyment journey began back in high school with the Big Red Book. I was eating dinner, and my parents commuted, so they came home quite late every day, and they came into the room and they said, Niama, that's my name, you know, I'm first generation out of Ghana. So they come in and say, Niama, there's a book here that we'd like you to take seriously. This college has reached out and we want you to take this application seriously. It was an application to Cornell, and I had never heard of it. See, up until that point, my life has been really revolving around music and just like being a fun, silly person. And so the next step in my life was to continue along that path and go play the trombone, probably at the College of New Jersey. That's like what I had in my mind. But the Big Red Book arrived, and I went through the application process. I actually, my parents actually reached out and asked me to ask our band director to kick me out of band for a while so I can just focus on the application, because I just wasn't doing it, right? And the cool part is that I got in, and I was super excited. I was like, you know, I didn't think I was gonna get in, but the more I found out about it, the more excited I was about the possibility of that happening. Well, over time, it was like the last 3 weeks of school, and I was sitting in one of my English classes. I only had one, so my English class, my senior year, and we were all just kind of sitting in pods. Most of the lessons were done because everyone knew where they were going to college. And I overheard in the tables next to me someone say, "Can you believe that out of all of us that have been working so hard and have been putting in all this work, Niama is the one that got into an Ivy League school?" And it's interesting, I don't know like why I heard it, I don't know how I heard it, but it just like, I just overheard that conversation, and what occurred to me was that they were right. Out of all, like, those people there, they were better than me. And I didn't really deserve to have that happen for me. I didn't really deserve to go to this school. It must have been luck. And I feel fortunate, or at least at the time, I felt fortunate to know that in advance. Because that then allowed me to go to school knowing that, like, hey, look, this is, like, you got here by luck. And so all you need to do is just graduate. And as long as you have that, you'll get your diploma and you'll be fine. So I went through my first 2 years there, and on like September 6, 2006, something happened that would forever change my life. I got an email from our bursar office saying that the financial aid for the year had been denied. And I reached out to my parents about it, and they're like, well, we don't have another means for you to continue on there. We don't think you can continue at Cornell. And I remember thinking about this, like, I mean, I'm entering my junior year here, and I'm like, wait a minute, I've been here for 2 years, my grades are mediocre at best, and I'm not gonna get this diploma. Like, everyone in high school was right. Like, that conversation, I knew it. But like, I'm here and I've done good work and I've like made great friends, and I'm gonna have nothing to show for it. Well, I'm very fortunate that someone in my family came through and helped me produce the financial aid to make that come to life. But it put together a little bit of a shift in me. A shift that was like, well, now that you're here, like, make something of it, because it's not guaranteed, you know? And that's when I started going to classes more regularly, started doing the work more regularly. I didn't even know that there were like when internships were happening. I completely missed the internship bucket, but I found myself finding a way to create an internship opportunity, you know, in a very short period of time. Once I did catch up, about like 2 months after everyone else had already had their interviews, I found out when they were getting their confirmations. And what occurred is that, you know, over time, the grades got better, things went well, and I was able to procure a job placement at Deloitte Consulting, where I worked for several years as a retirement actuarial consultant. And life was good there, you know. Actually, before I get into that part of my story, I just want to just take a quick break and just check in with you. All right, so I've kind of shared with you like where things were for me growing up, you know, and some of these kinds of important moments. What was a defining moment for you in your journey? What is one moment that got you to a place where you're like, whoa, like this shaped who I was for a good portion of time? And then I also shared with you that moment where everything, well, basically at a crossroads, you know. Would I continue down the path of not doing what I knew was possible? Or would I put myself in a position to actually challenge what was happening and make something of it? So I'd love to invite you to explore that for yourself for a little bit. And while you're thinking about that, I'll continue on. So I was then given the opportunity to go and work at Deloitte Consulting, which I did for about 6 years. It was a great opportunity. Really loved the environment and the people that I was working there with. And over the 6 years, really did some great work. Eventually, though, I realized that, you know, I was there to be an actuary. I was passing exams, and I actually passed my last actuarial mathematical exam before the credentials, and I knew in my heart that that wasn't the right thing for me. It wasn't where I wanted to be. So basically the way I look at it is I could be a good actuary, but I would never really be a great one. And this picture of musical chairs in my mind, this picture where the world had musical chairs, and I was sitting in a chair, and someone else was sitting in another chair. I was sitting in an actuarial chair, and they were sitting in a chair that I wanted to be in, a learning and development chair at a tech company. And my thoughts were, well, I'm in a role that I'm right now is not fully satisfying me. There might be someone else out there that's in a role that may not be satisfying them, but I'm sitting in their seat and they're sitting in mine. What if we just both got up and switched? And it was with that mentality that allowed me to start pursuing a new career. And I'm very happy to say this, within 2 months, I was working as a learning and development member of a team at a tech company. I stayed at that company for 2 years, got a chance to move in and work on company culture, employee experience, and really just take some time to get to know how to really connect with people and build collaborative environments where people felt safe to explore both themselves, important and difficult issues, and get a chance to get to know each other. It was actually a quite spectacular activity. So when we had the opportunity to come out to Singapore, I knew that I was experiencing some of what I like to call 2 years of bliss. And I wanted to find an opportunity to help spread that even further, the opportunity to have bliss, because quite frankly, I wasn't supposed to even be there. I wasn't supposed to be there. I was supposed to be somewhere playing the trombone somewhere after my time at the College of New Jersey. Everything that had been happening to me, from Deloitte to living in New York City to meeting the woman of my dreams and marrying her, being in a company where I felt valued for the way that I looked at the world and the way that I chose to to help others. And the problems that we were taking on, the problems that I was being asked to solve, like, it was just, it was great. It was awesome. I'm not gonna lie. It was really great. And then we got this opportunity to come to Singapore for a chance to do something different. You see, while I was doing all this stuff, I also was building my own business related to online learning and development and building community online. And my wife was supporting me on that. She, I still see it. I'm sitting in this small corner of a room in New York City, and she's sitting out there on the couch with her laptop and earphones in, watching like Scandal, and you know, just supporting me just by even just being in the room with me, but like letting me do what I needed to do as I was doing a webinar. So she knew this was an important dream for me, and I knew that traveling was an important dream for her. And so with that, when the opportunity for Singapore came, I'm like, this is what we've been working toward. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's jump in. Like, it's a totally different level of everything, really. And let's go see what this can be. Let's go explore this possibility. So, I mean, that's what really brought me here to this moment here. And before I wrap up this video, I want to just pause in again with you, right? Where are areas, so I just told you a little bit about my journey kind of professionally here. I'd love to ask you here, like, when you first started working, did you immediately end up in the role that you wanted to be in? Did you find over time that you were better suited for different types of activities? And did you allow yourself to pursue that, or did you hold yourself back? You know, one of the things I didn't mention was, like, when I wanted to make the transition from actuary to learning and development, I had a lot of friends and family who supported me. But in that support, there was a lot of love. And that love brought itself out in terms of, like, you have something really great right now. You're working at a great company. You're like 2 exams away from like getting your credentials. Why don't you get those first? Why don't you do all that first, and then go pursue your dream of becoming a learning and development consultant? Then go do your business, because at least then you have something to fall back on if you didn't succeed. And you know, even if they never even said if you didn't succeed, you know, I think that was in there, right? It's the implicit part of, like, hey, the reason why it's important for you to finish this here is that there's a chance that what you really, really, really want isn't gonna happen. And so you should just keep doing this thing that you don't really care for, because you have it. Now that I have enjoyment, I guess what comes to mind is, like, I've decided to build a community. I've decided to work with people like you. I mean, if you're making it this far into the video here, then you care, right? Then there's something here that really resonates with you, and you get it. And I really wanted to create a space where people can explore their possibilities and really be able to allow their unique, authentic, and awesome selves to come out and not just like have a space, but to be celebrated and to be valued for it. So I have some other videos here all throughout here. You can get a chance to find out more about the values that are important to us here at Enjoyment, find out how you can get involved in some of the community activities. You can even find out how you can work with me one-on-one or in a small group as we continue to really get you the levels of enjoyment that you're looking for. But for now, I think I'll end this here. I think I'll end this here, and I'll leave you an opportunity to just share your thoughts, share what comes to mind about this journey, because this is just my journey, and your journey is actually even more interesting, and the possibilities that will come for you are even more tremendous than what I have out here. It's fantastic. I mean, since I've started this, I've been able to work with people who have gone from sales and said, you know, I want to become a producer. And within weeks of talking, they're like, hey, just so you know, I'm producing my first short movie. We're gonna be recording it over the weekend. And they've gone from a place of just possibility to actually creating that possibility. Of someone that I'm gonna make another video, and I'll share some of the amazing things that have happened even just so far with Enjoyment, and some of the possibilities that people have explored. I don't want this to be that much longer than it actually is. So just know that I appreciate you. Just know that that I am here for you. I believe in you. If you're watching this, it says something about you. It says that you are ready to explore and create new possibilities, and that's what we do here. This is what we do. Every time 2 or more employees come together, we create the world that we want. And so right now, we're doing this. We're living it up. And I thank you for that. Here's to doing the things that bring you joy each and every day. Take care.